If you're seeing this, my friend, then everything is about to change for you. All that you've wanted to create and experience and manifest, to be wildly rich, never needing to work again, it's all possible. In fact, it's more than possible, it's already yours if you only claim it. And you see, I'm speaking from my direct experience because over the last several years, I've done this time and time again. And in the last 12 months, I've done it right before your eyes with this YouTube channel. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through the keys to becoming wildly rich and never needing to work again. So sit back, relax, and let's shift into alignment with who you truly are and this desired reality that you want to create. And it comes down to 5 C's. And the 5 C's are consciousness, clarity, calling, conviction, and creation. And really, they're all one and the same because they can all be boiled down to consciousness. But I'm going to extrapolate them and make distinctions and nuances so that we can understand consciousness and actually what it is and how it creates your reality. So first things first, when I say consciousness, you probably have all sorts of different terms and ways in which you interpret that word. Your understandings based on context, based on things that you've watched or read, which are in a way distorting that term. Because when I say consciousness, I'm not meaning anything particularly spiritual, anything woo-woo. I'm not meaning anything fluffy. I'm meaning what's real. I'm meaning what you're being. Because consciousness is what's creating your reality. And therefore, what you're being, your self-concept, your beliefs, your thoughts, your feelings, yes, your habits and your actions, but mostly your mindset, your mental faculty. That is what's giving rise to your thoughts and your feelings and your actions and all of your behaviors, right? And so that's all determining your circumstances, your life situation, how you relate to all of that, how you decide and act within all of that. It's literally filtering all of your perceptions through that lens of who you believe you are. And that's consciousness. Consciousness is what you're conscious of being. And this is where it all starts. And this is where it actually ends as well. Because everything out here is an outpressing of consciousness. So this is the tricky part, is that we've been taught and conditioned to believe that we need to go out into the world and struggle, and through effort and through hard work, we're going to change things. We're going to improve ourselves and therefore improve our life. And we're going to get what we want by earning it and deserving it. All of this is utterly backwards, completely the wrong way around. And that's kind of intentional and deceptive as to keep you kind of stuck in this loop and in this pattern of trying to get somewhere, all the while just running on the hamster wheel in the rat race, chasing your tail, trying to change an effect with another effect. Because the world, your life, and this reality is merely the effect of your consciousness. So anything that you change out here, anything that you try or attempt to alter within this appearance, within this effect, with another effect, is going to be futile. It's going to be fruitless, and it's going to be exhausting. And so that's why we have to start at the source. We have to start with consciousness. And to recognize that you are the creator, that you've never experienced anything apart from your consciousness, that everyone that you've ever known, in the way that you've experienced them, everything that you've perceived, all of your experiences, all the ways that you interpret things, how you feel, what you think, it's not because of the world. It's not out here in the world. It's in here. And I point to your head because that's where most people associate consciousness to be, but your consciousness is not in your head. Your consciousness is what you are. It's what you're being. And so when you recognize the fact that everything is really within you. And therefore, what you are conscious of being is then what you're going to press outside of you as your externalized experience in reality. Then the whole myth of needing to do anything that you don't want to do, or working hard, striving and chasing for anything, it just crumbles. It just dissolves, because there's no point in taking that approach. The approach is first principles, which is starting at the source. And so this is where we start to extrapolate this consciousness into three main parts. So this is the next C, the next key, which is clarity. Because clarity is one of the main qualities of consciousness. Consciousness is pure presence. It is pure awareness. It is the undivided, unbridled, undistorted, undistracted consciousness. And so clarity is a natural effect of pure consciousness. And to cultivate that clarity of consciousness, there are two main parts: attention and intention. And you see, in our modern world, our attention is fragmented. It is leaking everywhere. You know, from the moment you wake up in the morning to the moment you go to bed, you are being bombarded by news and distractions and articles and videos and opinions of others, and everyone wanting your attention. And every time that you unconsciously give your attention to any of these things, or even consciously give your attention to these things, without the awareness that you're creating that you're actually outsourcing yourself to that in a way, then that's going to be placing yourself at the receiving end of that, being a sort of external reality or external authority, right? Because every time you give your attention to something that's seemingly outside of you and give it significance and give it validity, give it power, then you become beholden to that, whether you're aware of it or not, whether you believe that or not. In some subtle way, you are. And so the first key to this first C is attention. You need to be the conscious creator of your attention. You need to be the master of your attention. And if you're putting your attention on things that don't matter to you, they're not meaningful to you, that they're not more of what you desire to experience, then you're going to be a victim and beholden to the agendas of other people. So that's the first thing. And in order to become wildly rich, never needing to work again, this is the most fundamental quality to cultivate, because it gives rise to the calling, which is inspiration. It is a vision. But before we get to that, we have to work on the second key of clarity, which is intention. Because once you've regained your attention, when you've consciously cultivated concentration and focus to be able to harness your awareness, hone your consciousness, which is pure potential, it is pure possibility, it is pure power. Now you've wielded that power into a conscious direction, rather than leaking it in all sorts of different ways. Now you hold it as the potentiality that it really is. And when it's in your hand, it becomes like clay. You can mold it. And that's where intention comes in, because it is the setting of the intention. It is the way in which you wish to use that attention, how you want to direct that attention, for what purposes you wish to use that attention. Then whatever is needed, whatever is for you, all that is going to support you in that comes to you. That is literally the power of intention. It is through your conscious choice of getting behind your attention with an aim, with a purpose, that everything comes to you easily. And so if you desire to be wildly rich, doing what you love, being you, getting paid to exist merely by the authentic creativity within you, merely just waking up into the reality where you get to do what you love all the time. And that, from my experience, is not work, right? When I started on YouTube a little over 12 months ago, I radically set the intention to create a reality where I get to wake up every single day into a life where I play with a purpose. And in that purposeful playing, there is the possibility that everything's easy, that everything's effortless, that I don't have to do anything that I don't want to do. I don't have to work hard. I don't have to earn it. I don't have to deserve it. I don't have to conform to prescriptions or strategies or expectations of a society. I don't have to adopt methodologies or anything like this. I just get to do it the way that I want to do it. And in doing so, I've literally, over the last year, created a YouTube channel, which has now over, I think, 31,000 subscribers. I have a thriving business, which makes tens of thousands of dollars a month, which I don't say to gloat, but I say it to remind you of the possibility that you have. Because I'm not special. I've just recognized the power of consciousness and the cultivating of the attention and the intention of the clarity of the main quality of that consciousness. I've tapped into my calling, and through the conviction behind all of that, I have literally created my reality. And so this is possible for you because we are not different. In truth, we're not even two. We're not separate. So I share this with you as a reminder to inspire you and to awaken you to the potential within you where this is your reality as well. So let's wrap up with clarity, because we've talked about attention, we've talked about intention, and this becomes the fertile ground for the inspiration and the vision of your calling to come to you. Because you see, it was a little over 12 months ago when I started this YouTube channel that I had made a vow to myself. I had told myself that now is the time. I'm going to radically reclaim my attention. I'm going to consciously set my intention. I'm going to be fully committed to making this a reality. And in that clarity, in that state of consciousness, the calling was apparent. It was obvious. It was inspired. And what happened was that I met a good friend of mine in New York City, and he was starting up a 30-day video challenge. And this was like a light bulb going off, because I realized that everything that I wanted to do, I wanted to work with people, I wanted to create products, I wanted to create different programs and share my ideas. All of this was the most exciting thing to me. It was what lit me up every single morning. It was what I wanted to spend all of my days doing. And so when he said he was starting a 30-day video challenge with a group, everything clicked. I realized it is through YouTube, it is through making videos that I'm going to be able to do one thing that allows all of these other things to happen easily and effortlessly. And you see, if it were not for the clarity of my state of consciousness and my intention, and through blocking out everything that was not serving me, coming into a spacious, clear state of mind, was I able to recognize the opportunity that was right before me. And so I immediately acted on this. I said, I'm in. I want to do this. And for 30 days, I created one video a day. And I got to say, it was not easy. It was not easy. But with the clarity of my intention, right, the commitment that I have made to myself, being fully behind this desire to create this reality, it didn't matter. It didn't matter that it was hard. It didn't matter that it wasn't easy. It didn't matter that I was struggling to do it every day, that I was facing things within myself that were hard to face. I was fearful. I was insecure. I was afraid of what people were going to think. I was criticizing myself and judging myself. I was feeling unsafe with this whole thing. Like, there are consequences, right? There are repercussions. What if I'm a fool? What if I have no idea what I'm talking about? But you see, this is all a part of this journey because it's all clarifying your consciousness to be in alignment with who you truly are, which is pure conviction. You see, that's the next C. We're going to get there. You see, the conviction that comes from the cultivating of the clear consciousness and the calling, which is your desire, getting fully behind that commitment and living it day by day, showing up every day in the full devotion to what you say you want to create, uncovering the limiting beliefs, finding the blind spots that are holding you back, noticing your triggers, inquiring into them. What must I be believing about myself in order to outsource myself in this way, to care about other people's opinions, to hold myself back, to procrastinate, to hesitate, to doubt myself? What must I be believing? Because again, there's nothing apart from your consciousness. So you can blame other people for not starting or not believing that you're ready or for all the judgments and the criticism that are holding you back. But all of that is triggering the belief within you that is what you are actually already believing about yourself. So then the trigger or the external catalyst is just the permission slip for you to come in contact with your own insecurity, with your own doubt, with your own disbelief. And that's a beautiful thing, because when you come in contact with that, with the earnestness and the honesty and the courage to look at it, to confront it, even vulnerably sometimes, because we don't often want to admit that these things are there. We'd rather outsource them. We'd rather blame other people for why we are not where we want to be, for why things are not working out in the way that we'd rather them be working out. But my friend, you are at the source of your reality. So you're the only one to blame. And in truth, there's no one really to blame. There's just the conscious awareness, the recognition that you're choosing for that. So judgment doesn't help. In fact, forgiveness is actually the posture that you want to take here, because it's lighthearted, it's playful. It makes everything so much easier. So when you notice something in your consciousness that is out of alignment with what you desire to create, with how you desire to experience yourself as, with who you want to be, with what you want to manifest, then cultivate the attitude to meet it with compassion, with that courage to be forgiving, to be accepting of yourself. And that's all within this calling, because your desired reality is not out here. It's not on the other side of effort. It is actually only on the other side of the undoing and the dissolving of all of the interferences and obstacles that you're placing in the way of that being your reality. So it starts and ends with you again. And you see, that's why all of these things come back to consciousness. Because when your consciousness is undivided, when it is clear, when it is fully committed to your calling, when it is convicted with the confidence of consciousness, then nothing will get in your way. Nothing will stop you. And so let's get back to calling. Because when you are present, when you are clear, when you have taken back your attention, when you have set deliberately your intention, it is impossible for you to not be inspired. It is impossible for you to not recognize your true desires. It is utterly impossible for you to not see the vision of your life, because you're not distracted by the visions of other people's lives, by the desires of other people. You're not wasting your energy comparing yourself to other people and realities that are not yours. And so in the clarity of your pure consciousness, there is your true self and your true desire. And that is what brings up conviction. So here we are at the third C, the third key of consciousness, which is conviction. And you see, this is not about sort of discipline or bolstering yourself or building yourself up, hyping yourself up into a state of confidence or conviction, right? Because again, everything is consciousness. And so the true conviction that I'm talking about is a natural effect of consciousness. Because again, the world, your life, your experience, your reality is an effect of consciousness. It's an effect of what you're conscious of being. And so when you know that, when you remember that, you realize that everything that I'm experiencing is just a reflection of what I'm being. So all I need to do is shift my state of being, is shift my self-concept, and a different reality will appear in reflection to what I'm being. How can you not have utter conviction when you remember that truth, that you are the creator of your reality? There's nothing apart from you. There's nothing outside of you. There are no forces, no authority, no people that have any control over you unless you give them that power, unless you give them that authority, because you are the only authority. So you see, you are the master of your reality. You are the creator of your life. And that, when you truly come into recognition of that truth, there is pure conviction, unwavering, unfuckwithable confidence of your true nature within consciousness. And so those are the 3 C's, and therefore the 3 keys of consciousness. And you see, this is what leads to the 5th C, which is creation. And this is utterly synonymous with consciousness, because as I said, and as I've said multiple times throughout this video, creation is consciousness. Your consciousness, what you're conscious of being, your self-concept, your state of being, the thoughts that you identify with, the feelings that you're familiar with, the beliefs that you hold on to, the actions that you take as a repetitive, habitual way of being, are all creating your reality. So consciousness is constantly creating itself into form, into the world, into the expression of your life. This cannot be stopped. This is the eternal truth of consciousness, is that it exists, and you are that. And so it will constantly be forming itself, creating itself into the dream, this illusion of a world, of an experience, of an outpressing of what you're conscious of being. And so that's just it. The more you act on the clear inspiration of your calling, and the more you get behind that with conviction, with belief, as the creator of your reality, the more that consciousness gets pressed outward into your reality as all that you desire to experience. And that's really it. It's as simple as it is. That's literally the process that I have taken over the last little over 12 months, and multiple times before that, with the businesses that I've created, with the 6 months that I spent in a monastery, which none of these possibilities or experiences or opportunities were available, except into coming into contact with the pure consciousness, and therefore the pure presence of I am. You see, you need only be still and know that I am, because that is the source of all clarity, all inspiration, all abundance, all opportunities, all connections, all relationships, everything that is for you in alignment with your desired reality, and everything that's going to unfold as you step onto that path to create that reality comes to you effortlessly when you are wholly in alignment with the truth of who you are, which is I am, pure consciousness. Everything exists already, here and now, within consciousness. And it is through your state of being, or in other words, your frequency, you could say your attitude, your mindset, your beliefs. It is through your self-concept, which is that concept, that image of yourself. It is who you are conscious of being. And I keep saying this, but this is a kind of transmission. I want you to really feel into this. I want this to be a practical tangible, experiential knowing, remembering of who you truly are, so that you can really feel, radically own whatever it is that you want to create, whatever it is that you're being called to create, whatever is meaningful, whatever is purposeful, whatever matters to you, that when you fully get behind it with that conviction, with that commitment, in the clarity that it is yours, that it is already done, because it is already existing within consciousness, then my friend, there's nothing that can stop you. You are the only thing, the only one that can stop you from this moment to the next moment to the next moment, which is always this moment, from acting it out, from living true to it, from being it, and therefore from creating it. And the next morning when you wake up and you're afraid and full of doubt, or you're tired, you can't be bothered, and you remember that you are, that you exist, and as that existence in pure consciousness, there is clarity. And you see, this is the fractal of this 5-step kind of process, the 5 keys that are like a microcosm in a macrocosm, which is the unfolding of this journey in each and every moment. Because you see, it starts with consciousness. It brings up clarity. It inspires a calling. It wells up this feeling of conviction that there's nothing that can stop you. And therefore, there is the creation that emerges out of that state. And the unfolding of that state and the momentary alignment with that, everything that I just described, is the macrocosm of that microcosm. So when you wake up tomorrow and you're like, oh shit, what am I doing again? Why does this matter? Can I even do this? Am I worthy of this? Like, well, he does it or she does it, so, but maybe it's not for me. My friend, these are all just the limiting beliefs. They're just trying to get your attention so that through your intention, you can uplift them. You can elevate them. And in truth, you can let go of them so that the true belief in yourself, the concepts of yourself, the image of yourself, the perceptions that are in alignment with your true self, that are activated by your calling, by your desire, by your vision, they become what you're placing your attention on, rather than the negativity and the doubt and the insecurity and the disbelief, which is just a practiced pattern. These are all just habits. And so this is really about making this commitment, this prioritization of a habit to come into alignment with that pure I am, which is the ground, the source of everything that's needed in order for you to create your reality. And when you wholly come into alignment with that concept or that desire that you wish to press outward into your reality, again, nothing can stop you. And along the way, you will be inspired to learn things. You'll be inspired to hone your craft. You'll be inspired to, yes, even develop certain skills, certain abilities, certain things that are necessary along the way in order to deliver your creativity, to offer your products and services, to bring to the world everything that you want to bring. And so there's learning, there's growth. This is something that you get to do. This is the demonstration of your commitment. This is the testimony of your conviction. And this is the creating of your self-concept, of your calling. So I speak from my direct experience, not only in the multiple businesses that I've created that have been successful, not only in leaving those businesses behind to go to a monastery for 6 months and dive deeply into this and explore the esoteric natures, the realms of this, to really come into contact with who I truly am beyond all the ideas and conditioning and programmings that I've picked up along the way, to cultivate this, what I've shared with you over the last almost 30 minutes now. And this has been a little bit of a different format than usual because I wanted it to be casual. I wanted it to just be a stream of consciousness. So if you're still with me and you're still watching this, then I want to inspire you. I want to remind you that anything is possible, that there's nothing outside of you that's stopping you from doing it, that you are the creator of your reality, and that there is nothing that you need to do it more like. There's no one's expectation that you need to live up to. There are no prescriptions or strategies that you need to follow along. And yet, all the while, you get to develop yourself. You get to acquire skills and hone your craft so that the performance of whatever it is that you're doing in this life gets better and better and better and truer and more aligned with who you truly are as the master and the creator of your reality. Because that's what you truly want anyway. You want to know who you truly are and to express the power, the potential, the possibility of all that can be. That is an upward spiraling, positive unfolding, the evolving of your soul. And there's nothing more fulfilling than that. No amount of money, no amount of results or manifestations in the world, no matter how beautiful and pleasurable and purposeful they are, all of which is wonderful and is inevitable as a reflection of the quality of consciousness that you've cultivated. But none of it matters nearly as much as the true purpose, which is to awaken and to remember who you truly are and to really come into contact with bridging that and embodying that in each and every moment of your life, because that is the source of everything that is possible for you. And nothing is off limits to you when you're in alignment with who you truly are. And so if you're still with me, and if this is resonating, and if you're inspired, and if you have been wanting to get started, but maybe you've been hesitating, maybe you've been holding yourself back, and perhaps you'd like some guidance, or you'd like some accountability, or you'd like to work with me closely, one-on-one, over multiple weeks, so that I can help you stay on track, tap into the deep reservoirs of creativity and inspiration that are within you, so that you can embody this and that you can bring this into the world, and that so you can create a reality where you're wildly rich, never needing to work again, but purposefully playing in alignment with your true self. Then I want to invite you to reach out. In fact, you can comment creator down below and I'll send you a link to one of my mentorships, which is one of the ways in which you can work with me. Additionally, of course, you can sign up for a one-to-one call, and that's a possibility as well. I also have my Aligned Creator Blueprint, which is a 50-page document that walks you through this as a day-to-day practice, uncovering all these things within you and aligning your life with this. So again, if you're interested in any of these things, comment creator down below, and I'll send you a link where you can learn more about all of this. Godspeed, my friends.